Byrum Brown was the highest graded transfer QB per Pro Football Focus in this offseason. How good can he be at Auburn?
This is the Weekend Tailgate. Brought to you by Golden's Cast Iron. C-Dub. I Joe. Be Will. By G. You are now listening to
Weekend Tailgate, brought to you by our friends at Golden's Cast Iron. Visit goldenscastiron.com/WR. Use code Get Your Weight Up for 15% off your weights and code TWR for $65 off fire pits and Kamado grills. Sign up as a member. $5.99 a month will get you there, guys. We got lots of great content for you this all season. The most interesting content coming these next couple weeks. You don't want to miss it. You're going to hear from head coaches, players, all kind of stuff we got planned here for you. So dial in with us. We will be doing exclusive early access to some of the interviews that we have coming to our members. First, I know some of y'all hate that, but we're running the business here, so just sign up and you don't have to complain about it. We appreciate you guys for doing that. You can also give the gift of the War Report by hitting that gifted membership button. Let's see if we can get 30 given away here. Before we get into the show, I definitely want to thank our friends at the Rogue Shop. Visit rogueshop.com. Use code REPORT to get 15% off your Rogue Shop order. Pain, sleep, stress, anxiety, whatever ails you in life, the Rogue Shop has something that potentially has you covered. If you've got some traditional ailments that could require some non-traditional remedies, the Rogue Shop could have something that has you covered. Our guy Richard, longtime sponsor of the show, dropping a little something extra in there for everybody using code REPORT today. Also, visit our merch store at thewarreport.com, where you can also find our written work. Lots of great stuff for you guys there. Great way to support our content. Buy a t-shirt, buy a bag, buy a jacket. We got lots of great stuff there for you guys. So we appreciate everyone for supporting us there.
Mike, we have gotten through signing day. Transfer portal is closed. We're in the off season, which means it's list season, right? Spring football begins, spring practice begins next month. And now people are coming out with lists. And none other than Pro Football Focus, they tweeted their highest graded transfer QBs in the offseason. There were 8 in the graphic. Amongst those were Darian Mensah, who was number 5. Brennan Sorsby, transferred from Cincinnati to Texas Tech, was number 2. Drew Mestermaker, transfer from North Texas to Oklahoma State. But coming in at number 1 was none other than Byrum Brown, Mike G. He was graded at 91.5 per Pro Football Focus. And I know some people have mixed feelings on how seriously they take Pro Football Focus. But again, this is list season. And so obviously Byrum Brown had an amazing season last year at South Florida under Alex Golesh. Alex Golesh obviously now is at Auburn. So is Byrum Brown. The question is, how successful, at least out of the quarterbacks and QBs who've transferred, how successful can he actually be at Auburn this upcoming year?
Look, they as you mentioned, they rated him number 1. They rated him number 1 for a reason. And this, I think the important point to make here, Caesar, is Byrum Brown was the obvious slam dunk for Alex Golesh, right? So there, a lot of people thought that Auburn should have gone a lot of different ways in this transfer portal, but he was the obvious pick. And I don't think it's even close. And look, now Pro Football Focus agrees. The number 1 ranked player in the portal. Go back and look at some of the teams, the teams so far that have gotten the number 1 ranked player in the portal, and see how they've done. Right? Who was the number 1 ranked player in the portal? Was it Mateer? Mateer last year was the number 1 ranked player in the portal, right? Oklahoma made the college football playoff. So, I'm not here to tell you that Auburn's going to make the college football playoff. But, but I am here to tell you that there's definitely some significance to getting a player as highly regarded as Byrum Brown, and him being your base for what you're trying to build offensively. I like this move. I like Byrum Brown a lot. I mean, the more I learn about this kid, the more I love him, the more I like about him. And I think that Alex Golesh, for what he's going to try to do, for what he's going to want to do at Auburn, it's going to be really important that he does not have to. He's gonna coach him, but you understand what I'm saying? Like, he's not going to have to baby his quarterback through this in year one, Caesar. I think it's really important that he does not have to baby his quarterback through this in year one. So it's a good move for him. I'm glad that other people are starting to recognize that Byrum Brown is as talented as Byrum Brown is. You know, now he's just got to go out in the field and he's got to show it. He's got to show everybody what he's made of here. And, you know, that will speak to a lot for Alex Golesh here in year one. I've said this before. I'll say it again. This kid is his most important recruit of his tenure.
Mm.
He's got to get this right, man. He's got to show proof of concept with quarterbacks in year one. If you don't have a QB, you're cooked. Period.
Yeah.
You got to have a QB or you're cooked. So
yeah,
I like this, and you know, like I said, it's list season. We're talking about it, but ultimately, what it boils down to is this kid is good. He's real good. You mentioned some of the guys that he's on the list with. Again, Byrum Brown there coming into Auburn. Brendan Sorsby, you know, I covered the Big 12. You know, he's going to be really good. Drew Mestemaker, I mean, he's really good. Led all of the FBS in passing yards last year. Did Drew Mestemaker. So going to a really crap program, I don't know if there could be a worse situation. I mean, at least he's in the P4. I don't know. But he was in the American with Byrum Brown last year.
Yeah.
Drew Mestemaker. So
they actually played one another. North Texas and USF played one another.
How did that game go?
Brown 8. Brown 8 in that game. And South Florida won by multiple scores. Byrum Brown's good. Byrum Brown's a really talented QB. And Mike, what I like about this too is it's not like you have a talented player going to another school and the possibility of him succeeding there. A lot of the environment at USF that allowed Byrum to flourish and develop followed him, or he followed it to Auburn. So it's not out of reach to think that he's going to pick up where he left off just with his production last year. Obviously, it's a more challenging league. The defenses are better, but I would like to think that a lot of the coaching that you mentioned, it's the same coaching. It's not like he has to learn a new system. So again, the learning curve, you're just learning the league at this point, right? Yeah. It's not like you got to learn the offense or you got to learn how to lead. Some of these guys you're throwing to, your best receiver followed you. Your best running back followed you. Like, they're familiar faces. Your center is on this roster. Like, there's a lot to like about the possibility of a Byrum Brown in an Auburn jersey in 2026.
Yeah, you get to start on second base.
Yeah.
Right? You're not teaching people how to hit. You get to start on second base, you know, in the SEC. I think that's really important. You know, you're talking about that North Texas game versus USF game last year. Byrum Brown passed for 245 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. He also ran for 82 yards and 2 more touchdowns. He had 5 total touchdowns in that game.
So in other words, he ate.
Yeah, he ate. Mestemaker threw for 336, 2 touchdowns, but he had 3 picks. He had 4 rushes for 0 yards and somehow 1 touchdown. So he had 3 total touchdowns in this game and 336 total yards. Brown wins.
Yeah.
I mean, he had more yards, he had more touchdowns, and they won the game by 27. I'm telling you, man, if these numbers, he was 22 for 28, by the way, passing in that game. So, look, I like Mestemaker. I think he's very, very, very talented. I do. But I think that Byrum Brown possesses a rare skill set that it's a blessing to have in year one when you're trying to show proof of concept about what you can do. Yeah. You know, the more, like I said, I mean, in the ideal world, one of your talented QBs you had on this roster stays. So you have a talented backup. But look, man, I don't know if Auburn has anybody as talented behind Byrum Brown as the guys who left. Right? Like,
let's put a pin there. Let's revisit that. I want to mention something to you.
Yeah. I'm not sure that they do, but so like I'm hoping that Byrum stays healthy and he gets through this first season. He's only got 1 year left.
Yeah.
Right. So you don't want to have to need the other guys in Byrum's last year.
Screw it. Let's go real quick. We can circle back to the original question. Can we have a petty party real quick?
Okay, sure. Okay. Yeah, I'm with it.
So Deuce Knight left Auburn.
Oh man.
Because he felt like he was going to be QB1. He wanted to be QB1. He didn't want to sit. And unless something happens, Trinidad Chambliss is going to be QB1 at Ole Miss, which means you did all of this just to be in the same spot that you would have been at Auburn. Except this coach actually told you something different versus what Alex Golesh was telling you. Now he's on social media doing the same things that he did at Auburn, taking Ole Miss stuff down.
Is he really?
Like he's their problem. Oh yeah.
Wow.
He's their problem now. Like,
yeah,
but it's just like
following after he wasn't an Auburn Tiger anymore.
It's like you're still QB2. Wow.
Yeah, what Deuce wanted was he wanted a QB competition, an actual QB competition. He wasn't going to get that here with Byrum Brown.
But get it where he is.
He's not going to get Ole Miss Trinidad Chambliss. Yeah, I'm sorry. They're not going to bench that kid yet. One of the most prolific seasons ever. Now he's returning for another one. Nope. Yeah, I'm here for this petty part. That's funny. Look, it's a roll of the dice. Look, man, I understand Deuce's position, right? Is you just don't want to waste too many years on the bench while they continuously bring guys in who are getting tape other places over you. I get it. I completely get it. It's just, it is a roll of the dice, though, because do I believe what this coach is telling me? Do I believe what this coach is telling me? Like, what do I believe here?
Are you really wasting a year? Are you really wasting? Like, when you think about, okay,
you won't know. You won't know. It's hindsight. Hindsight is 20/20.
It is. That's true.
You won't know until it happens. But
because you got to think about what Trinidad Chambliss was a year ago versus what he is now, right? Some of these guys, all they need is 1 year. All they need is one season to shoot up draft boards and to be one of the hottest QBs in all of college football. All you need is one really good shoot. Look at what happened to Ashton Daniels in what, 2, 3, 4, 5 games. Look at what happened to him. Right. So like really and truly, if you have a good season, because these QBs aren't staying for a season. If they're a kid as talented as Deuce Knight is not staying 4 years. Let's be clear.
Unless you spend the first 2 sitting behind other people. All right. Like,
and if you don't show anything when your name is called. Because if he starts at listen, Deuce is talented.
He is.
Dude gets a shot. He's not relinquishing, aside from injury. Hope that doesn't happen. He is not relinquishing that job, and he's going to do well, in my opinion, about Deuce. You really just need 1 year, if we're going to be honest with you. Like, he's going to need one, unless he doesn't live up to expectation. Mike, he might need that second season. But my thing is, if you're really that guy, all you need is one. That's really, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm telling you what happens, and the push with the transfer portal. Nobody wants to talk about it. It's putting more pressure on kids to push for playing time now, because these kids who are going to these lower tier conferences, if you're really good, you have an advantage. Think about it. Think about how many kids who were incumbents, talented incumbents, or have to sit because Drew Mestamaker transferred to your school while he was getting taped in North Texas.
Yeah.
Not in the Big 12, but he was getting taped. And that tape is more valuable than your high school talent because they've got something that they can judge you on. And if you're Deuce or any quarterback for that matter, you're just trying to get to the place where you have the same tape for them to put up against the guy who they're going to be potentially looking at from places like North Texas and USF. What you can't afford to do is believe a coach who may be lying to you to get you to stay while he goes out and gets the next guy who got the tape.
I think so. Here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing, and we're gonna bring this back to Byrum Brown in a minute. This is why it's important to choose a coach who has a history of developing QBs.
Right. I agree, Caesar. But when that coach didn't choose you, right, his estimation of your talent may be different than the guy who recruited you. And
are we referring to Alex Golish here?
I'm referring to any coach.
Just any
right?
coach. Okay.
Yeah, right. Like, so, for example, Golish, well, and I want to be clear, they tried to choose Deuce. But it hits a little different for the kids, right? Because Golden came after him. And although Trinidad is staying, they didn't know that when they recruited him. So in his mind, this coach chose me. If he tells me, I know Trinidad's done after this year.
Hey,
I know he's done after this year. And this coach chose me, so I'm likely the next one up.
How does he feel today, though?
Well, according to you, if he's doing all that semantics on social media, that's not great,
right?
Well, I'm
intent versus impact, right? Obviously, if you're Golding, you're not trying to lie to the kid. I would assume
yeah,
you're not trying to lie, but things happen.
Yeah, and,
right.
And for the record, I think they tampered. I think they absolutely tampered, and they were up to some foolishness. 100%.
It's they're broken ugly. Okay,
but,
I'm not putting it past anyone who's
100% tampered. Right.
Okay, fine.
However, I understand the conundrum that quarterbacks and players like Deuce are in. You know, Bama made a hard run at Cam Coleman. You know what Cam said? I won't play with the project QB this year. That's what he said. I won't play with a project QB. That ruled out Bama. That warmed my heart, by the way. That warmed my heart. It warmed my heart to hear that he turned them down because they don't have a bona fide QB.
You had me at he turned them down. I don't care the reason.
Yeah, right.
I'm that petty.
Yeah, it just made me so happy. But again, this is why I think this year is important for Alex Golish. Coming back to where we were talking about Byrum Brown. You make Byrum Brown an SEC star. You make him a national star. Not have to make the playoffs in year one, but if you're somewhere around there in November, and let me tell you what that looks like. That means sweep September and somehow pull out 2 out of 4 of the hardest of the 4 games you have in one of the hardest Octobers we've ever seen. Bro, that October slate is brutal.
Well, now with Trinidad coming back, yes, it doesn't make it easier.
Yeah, in case you were one, and I think, do I have the grubby here? I think I had the grubby.
Do we know about Aguilar?
I'm not sure if we know about Aguilar just yet, right? But to me, I'm like,
no, it's still up in still.
It's still up in the air. Aguilar's still up in the air. Okay, here. I'll upload the graphic real quick so we can have it. Right. Caesar, look at this schedule. If you're Golish, right? Again, find a way to sweep September. Because
September is so important. That month is so important.
Because your season can completely come off the rails in October.
Yeah.
It can, right? Like every single game in October as of right now is a potential L.
That's not
Auburn,
a crazy statement.
Yeah. I don't think there's any world where Auburn wins them all, but I definitely think there's a world where Auburn loses them all. I'm just keeping it real. When we do boss it, toss it, loss it, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's gonna be a few L's and some tosses in October on mine, right? But if you can get through that, November is super manageable.
If Aguilar doesn't come back, Tennessee is an interesting game. That's an interesting game.
It is.
LSU, depending on where they are at that point in the season, could be an interesting game. I think they're going to be good when it's all said and done. But I would, man, if you could
Goalies
get
versus Heupel.
LSU when you get Florida, like, you know what I mean? I'm curious how that game. That's going to be an interesting game. It's at home. I like the last two. Good God. Good.
Yeah, we did a segment on the potential quarterbacks that Byrum Brown is facing on this schedule. So week 1, he's going to see Lagway. Week 2, we don't know, right? Week 4, I'm sorry, week 3, we don't know. Week 4, likely a true freshman or talented, 5-star freshman. Week 3, right now, we'll see, right? We know it's going to be Stockton at Georgia, right? We know who it's going to be at LSU. And right now, we think we know who it's going to be at Ole Miss one way or the other.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the games that I just mentioned, those are the ones really where, man, if you're Byrum Brown, and I mean, there's some guys at Alabama, I think that Byrum Brown can definitely outduel. But boy, man, this first year Caesar, this schedule sets up for Byrum Brown to really, really put his stuff on display. And if you're Alex Golesh, you got to get in the kitchen and you got to cook. You got to go down to LSU and you got to make Byrum Brown jambalaya. 16 herbs and spices. All in pot. This is going to be fun. This is going to be a really fun schedule. So yeah. I'm really looking forward to year one here. I the more I talk to Alex Golesh, I have an interview scheduled with him in 8 days.
Nice.
And in 8 days, I will sit down with Alex Golesh one-on-one. And we're going to sit down for 45 minutes and just talk Auburn football. But, a lot of people ran to do their interviews. I wanted to wait until they had their roster set before, we went too far with it. But this is going to be fun, man. I think this is going to be really fun. I think that at the end of the day, if you're Auburn, if you're Golesh, right, you've got some really, really, really big opportunities on this schedule to show your guy off. The number one was the number one player in the portal or the number one QB in the portal?
I don't know if he's number one QB in the portal. This is Pro Football Focus. He was the highest graded according to them.
Okay. Yeah. So, come on. Yeah. Highest graded QB in the portal.
Yes.
Highest graded QB in the portal. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's a great opportunity there, man. Those guys do great work rating talent. They really do. They do good work rating talent for the most part. They don't miss a lot. And and they don't miss a lot at QB. So I think this year can be something that nobody sees coming.
Yeah.
It's going to sound like a lot of homerism, but when you start to look, I just challenge anybody to look at the schedule and show me the teams that are so much better off than Auburn. Most of them are in October. Everybody else has got big time questions. As many questions as Auburn's got.
Yeah. I mean, that is why you this whole season is important for so many different reasons, Mike. Like September and November are so important because it almost cushions what's going to be an incredible, difficult October. I don't remember, Mike, as tough as Auburn's schedules have been. I don't recall a much more tougher October. That's saying a lot.
Yeah, I can't think of an October.
That is wow. Like I think Crane and Cone, they did they're part of On 3. They did kind of what they felt like their hardest college football schedules. Auburn was top 5. Came in at number 5. Oklahoma was 4, Texas 3, Arkansas 2, Ohio State 1. They're acknowledging much of what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
That October is going to be brutal for Auburn, and it didn't get any easier after last week.
Yeah, last October it was Georgia, Missouri, Arkansas. They only had 3 games in October,
and those were some winnable games.
Mm-hmm.
All of those games were winnable in their own right.
And in 24, they had Georgia, Missouri, Kentucky, and just like in 25, the first 2 are ranked. The last one was not. But so they lost to 2 ranked ones and they beat Kentucky. In 23, which was Freeze's first year, they again only had 3 games in October. LSU, Ole Miss, and Mississippi State. LSU and Ole Miss ranked. They lost both those games. Mississippi State wasn't ranked, and they won that game. Going back to 22, right? They went 0 in October. They lost 5 straight games, as a matter of fact, starting October 1st. So that October, they had LSU, Georgia, Ole Miss, Arkansas. And then going back to Harson's first year, they had 4 games in October, and they went 3-1 in October. Beating LSU, that was the Bo Nix at LSU game. Losing to Georgia, beating number 17 Arkansas, and then beating Ole Miss by 11. So really, the best October we've seen was, in a while, was 2021.
Circling back to Byrum Brown, Mike, one of the conversations I've heard, not even just here, but other creators, other channels, Auburn channels, has been the topic of potential versus production, right? And over the past few seasons, especially with Hugh Freeze being head coach, we've kind of had our fair share of both to an extent when we're bringing in transfer QBs. Jackson Arnold was about potential. He was a 5-star coming out of high school. Unfortunate, experience with Oklahoma. His last year, a lot of injuries, wasn't able to really showcase. OC got fired. Peyton Thorne came in. One of the things we talked about was that one season he had where Michigan State was really good. He had a lot of talented weapons around him, and he was able to put up some numbers. But it seems like those things didn't translate. In retrospect, hindsight, you can have potential, you can even have production, but your coaching staff, system, scheme, and their ability to put players in positions to win is what's going to ultimately cause that production or even potential to translate here at Auburn. What does Alex Golesh need to continue to do to get the most out of his QB now that he's at a P4 school?
He's just got to do what he's been doing. Here's the thing, right? Like he's got all he's got to do is work his process. That's it, Caesar. That's it. He brought a process in here that a lot of guys said no to, but he believes in.
Mm-hmm.
So if your process works, no matter who's on the roster, you're going to get the most out of them. And that will be clear. We know what we're watching. People know what they're watching. They know when you win, but you're bad.
Yeah.
They know when you win, but you're good. They know when you lose, and you played a good game, but you got screwed, or you know what I mean? Or you just ran into a buzzsaw that week.
Yeah.
Ultimately, the process just has to produce dubs. That's it. They knocked on the door the entire time Hugh Freeze was here. They could just never open it. They knocked on the door the entire time Hugh Freeze was here.
Yeah.
So, all he has to do is what he's been doing. Go win football games. That's it. If he can do that, he'll be okay. He 100% will be okay. And, like I said, if he can't, and you're John Cohen, you hired the wrong guy. If he can't get QB going, you 100% hired the wrong guy. I have talked to John repeatedly about what potentially happened with Hugh Freeze. Caesar, you don't know. He is baffled at what happened with that cat. All he can tell you is, look, man, we felt like we did our due diligence and it worked. Everywhere he was, it worked. So, I don't know, I don't think it's that deep with Alex Golesh. I think that he just has to do what he's been doing and make it work. If his process works, we won't be sitting here asking that question.
Yeah.
His process is good. It's not an if, it's just a when, right? And we'll see it from year one. Byrum Brown won't look like he's taking steps back.
You're right.
You know, like
He's not regressing.
Yeah, he's not going to look like he's regressing. He's going to look like that guy from day one. And at the very least, they'll get out of him what they got out of him at USF. Now, we did a segment where I talked about what that looks like. I don't expect him I don't think it's an expectation that any QB is going to run for 1,000 yards in the SEC. So I don't want anybody to hear me say that. Like, that's not an expectation I put on any QB. If they do it, great. But I would like to see those passing yards up around or exceeding 3,000 yards, because that's what he did at USF multiple times. And if he does that, there's your proof of concept. It hasn't happened at Auburn very often, despite how common it is in college football these days. They have 3,000-yard passer. So all he's got to do is what he's been doing, man. Like, just make it work in the SEC. If it translates, then we're in good shape.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, you hired the wrong guy.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, chat, talk to me. Do you feel like Cohen hired the right guy this time?
I think a lot of people are in wait and see mode because, again, Auburn has, as far as narratives go and positivity, Auburn knows how to make themselves feel positive about their situation, right? They need outcomes of games to make them feel positive about their situation. Like, I've talked to a lot of Auburn fans offline, and even listen to some people in the chat. A lot of people are in wait and see mode. They like what they're hearing. There as of yet, there's nothing that gives people, alarms, but people have to see a product on the field. I think that's where people are pointing to, because this is where Auburn has gotten burned for the past several years, Mike. Is things look good, recruiting is up, things look up, and then Auburn takes the field and we're close.
Yeah, right.
It's just like I'm like we need Auburn to clear that threshold, right? So I think that's where a lot of Auburn fans are. Like, they're in wait and see mode.
Yeah, and which is fair. I think it's completely fair. Just don't let your wait and see kill your optimism for support.
Cautiously optimistic.
Yeah.
Optimism.
Yeah, looking at these other quarterbacks, I mean, is there a quarterback on this list, Caesar, that you feel like did Auburn? Who did better than Auburn? Right?
I mean, you just got to consider their situations, right? Like
who did better than Auburn?
I'm Oklahoma State, I'm ecstatic.
Right. Brendan Sorsby, maybe like head.
Yeah, I'm ecstatic. If I'm Texas Tech, I'm ecstatic about that. Miami, you got to like what you got in Darian Mensah. Like, you gotta like that. They're always looking for a transfer QB, right? So you got a talented one in Mensah because he did some really good things at Duke. Like, he was a big reason why Duke had the type of season they had. Putting him around a lot of that talent at Miami, assuming their defense is still going to be good this year, I think that was a good pickup for them. So there's some programs that did really well. I don't know much about Iowa State's QB, but he's following his head coach there. So obviously there's going to be an easier transition for him.
I know quite a bit about Rocco Beck. That's him going to Penn State. That is an interesting one for me.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Like Rocco Beck to Penn State is very interesting to me. I'll be interested to see how he does over there in the Big Ten. But, the names that stand out, obviously, Byrum Brown sits at the top. Brendan Sorsby stands out to me. Meskamaker stands out to me. Rocco Beck stands out to me. But it's hard to imagine. I said this on a previous segment. It is hard to imagine a better fit in year one of the guys we just saw than Byrum Brown with Alex Golesh.
Agreed.
I can't imagine a much better fit for some of these year one coaches. So we'll see.
We'll definitely see. I mean, again, a lot of production at his former stop, and a lot of the people responsible for that production are at Auburn. So it's hard not to look at that. When you look at that in context, you can be excited about it. But again, I understand a lot of Auburn fans' sentiment in that I need to see it before I get excited. Listen, guys, we appreciate you being here with us. Great conversation the first half of the show. Do us a quick favor, guys. Please smash the like button, guys. It helps us out a ton when you do that. Please share this video. We will be back We'll be back real quick, and we're going to read your comments, and we're going to discuss Auburn basketball right after this.
This edition of the War Report is brought to you by our generous sponsors. Golden's Cast Iron. Whether you work out, grill out, or chill out, you deserve the best life possible, and Golden's Cast Iron is here to provide the tools to help you do it. Check them out at goldenscastiron.com.
The Rage Room. The Rage Room is a place where anger and stress find their ultimate release. Set up a session today at one of the 2 great locations in Opelika or Birmingham by visiting opelikaRageRoom.com or BirminghamRageRoom.com.
Sign up as a member today. As I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, we got a lot of special interview content coming for you guys. It will be released to our members first. Sorry, everybody else, but there's an advantage to subscribing in the off season, and that is early access to content. So if you don't have that membership, go on and get signed up. I'm going to sit down here with Hugh Freeze, and we're going to put that interview out hopefully this week. And then we're going to have Alex Golish, and then we got a bunch of other content planned for you guys. So please sign up so that you can get early access to that content. You don't want to miss what we have coming. We're working hard this offseason to make sure you guys stay engaged and informed on Auburn football. I want to thank our friends at Abel's, Iannone, Moore & Associates. It's a new year, and usually that means a lot of talk about gym memberships, but what about a financial checkup? If you've got an old 401k sitting from a previous job, or if you haven't looked at your portfolio structure in years, now is the time for a clean slate. Abel's Iannone Moore & Associates helps you bridge the gap between just saving and strategic building. We're talking about looking at your 401ks and your overall structure to find tax efficiencies you might be missing. Give the team at AIMA a call at 912-777-4128 or visit AIMAINC.com. Let's make 2026 the year your money finally starts pulling its weight. The War Report has been compensated by Abel's Iannone Moore & Associates for this endorsement. AIMA is a SEC-registered investment advisor. Registration as an investment advisor does not imply a certain level of skill or training. I want to thank our friends at the Vibe Vault. You can find them at 3462 Crosswinds Road, Suite E in Phenix City, Alabama. If you're in the Columbus, Phoenix City area and you're looking to get fresh for the weekend, the Vibe Vault is the place for you. My guy Steve Watkins serving up beard trims, lineups, fades. They do it all there at the Vibe Vault. They do it all very well. You can find them in Phoenix City on Highway 431, right across the street from Chattahoochee Valley Community College, next to the Renfro Supermarket and the Marco's Pizza. The Vibe Vault, not just barbers, a lifestyle consultants. Guys, check us out on podcasts, all the podcast platforms. We are there bringing you lots of great audio-only content. The Auburn Express Uptempo College Loop, Just a Sec, and the War Report Gaming channel. Subscribe, leave us a 5-star review, and turn on automatic downloads for good measure. We appreciate your support there. Last but certainly not least, check out thewarreport.com, where you'll find our merch store as well as our written content. Dropping lots of great stuff over there for you guys too.
All right, man. Let's get to some of you guys. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us in the comments section. Our chat is one of the best there is. We appreciate you guys. And let's get it started off. The Can Lead just gifted 10 War Report memberships. Thank you so much, good sir.
Yes.
Let's do this real quick. Let's get to some of the super chats, but some of you guys also had other good comments. Let's get to it. Anthony Long says it's cool to talk about the possibilities of Brown, but it's hard for me to buy into it without having the same hype about the old line. Thoughts about that, Mike?
That's fair. Look, I mean, that's probably the biggest question that Alex Golish is going to have to face. If you can protect Byrum Brown, I have no doubt he'll be a top 3 or 4 QB in the SEC minimum. You can protect him, right? But if you can, if he's running for his life, trying to create magic back there every other play, we'll see. Go ahead. This is a completely fair comment.
I've been impressed with, I mean, again, we got to see some how they do, but I think Coach Hoodie has been doing a good job in terms of generating excitement out of kids out of high school. Been hearing a lot of the good things he's been doing recruiting wise. But I think they addressed a lot of their needs, Mike, in the offseason. There were some misses, but they got some guys who I think can actually produce from the offensive line. But part of what makes for a good O-line, Mike, is cohesion. Those guys having chemistry, being on the same page. All of the things that we've yet to see. And I think spring ball will go a long way towards easing some of the concerns that people have along the offensive line and along the trenches in general. Decan Lee comes back. Thanks for that comment, Anthony. Decan Lee says Deuce was too impatient. I think Alex Golish could have made him a baller and get high stock going into the draft season for him, but sometimes you have to make mistakes to learn. Deuce will be fine, but still.
All about the people in your ear, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Who are you taking advice from? Do they know what they're talking about? So it'll be very, very interesting to see. Did we lose Caesar, or is it me that's lost? Chat, talk to me. Who did we lose? Chat, talk to me. Did we lose Caesar? Is it me? Is it me that's lost? We lost Caesar. Okay. Never know sometimes. We'll get through the comments here. Appreciate you guys catching me up there. Let's see here. Appreciate that comment, the Can Lee. Anthony Long says, a quick question. Will this B-ball team make the tourney? We're going to talk about that in our second half here. Our guy Wesley Hilson says, War Damn Eagle, War Rapport. Hard to believe it's been 5 years, 60 months as a member. We appreciate that for sure. Congrats to Zach Etheridge going to the Cardinals. Okay. Did not see that one. Thank you for filling me in on that one. Valencia says, what about Chambliss and where that puts Deuce? Could have stayed at Auburn and been a backup. Man, I think the idea was go where you may not be a backup this year, but it seems that, no matter where he picked, he ended up a backup. And so that is the game. Lawrence Robinson says, shout out to our D-line commit. We're going to talk about that this week on the Auburn Express as well, too. So doing some work in recruiting there. So I see our good old buddy of Y2K Sports and Life is back in the comments there for the upcoming Baylor-Auburn game in Atlanta. That'll be fun. All right, welcome back, Caesar.
Yeah, don't know what happened there.
Yeah. And then the Kenley says Auburn baseball had a good start. They did swept that first series, so we like to see that.
Early in the season, but off to a good start.
Yep.
Mike, you've handled all the comments.
We got
shall we get to basketball? Some people made some mention about basketball. Mike, what is going on with basketball? Particularly, to me, the big story here is the situation with Auburn's leading scorer, arguably best player on the team, Keyshawn Hall. He's out indefinitely. Is it a suspension?
I think this was a one-game sit. This was a one-game send a message sit. And on the broadcast, they said, something about him being a team player or whatever. Look, he sat him for the last, 12, 13 minutes of the previous game. And Auburn went on a run. If you look at the stats, Todd showed up.
Yeah.
Keyshawn Murphy showed up. But when I tell you for a good part of that game, I think going into the half, those two guys were like 95% of Auburn scoring.
Yeah.
Keyshawn Murphy and Tahad Pettiford. That's it. Nobody else did anything offensively. I mean, it was tough. Jovic missed a layup that made me throw my remote at the TV. Caesar, these guys, I mean, they're not good enough to make some of the mistakes that they're making right now. And so, look, the decision to sit Keyshawn Hall will be debated here. That you lost that game. And it's really late in the season to be sending messages like this, especially when you're struggling to get bench scoring. Someone will look back on this and think, was there another way? He will be questioned. I'm not saying whether he did the right thing or not. I'm saying he will be questioned on this one.
And I guess the question is, with it being this late in the season, why are there still issues amongst your best players?
Yeah. This was tough. Look, I was encouraged to see Keyshawn Hall was off the bench and he was cheering his team on and he was not sulking. So I want to be clear about that one. Even though he was like a little in-season suspension in one game, he was not sulking on the bench. But like, I just want to give you some numbers here. This was the scoring for Auburn in a game that they lost by 13 points. Tahad Pettiford, 29 points. Keyshawn on 11 of 18 shooting. This is one of his best games of the year, if not his best. Keyshawn Murphy, 22 points on 9 of 16 shooting. Those were the only two guys in double figures for Auburn. The next highest scorer was Elijah Freeman, who went 3 for 10 for 9 points.
Yeah.
After that, Overton, a pathetic 1 of 13 for 5 points.
To me, that's
yikes, man. Come on.
That's the one right there. Because again, this guy has shown
we know he can put up 20.
Ability. He's shown the ability to score. And I'm not saying you gotta give us 20. I'm not asking for 20, Mike.
But 15 would have got the job done last night, potentially. Sean Williams Adams, Sway had 2 for 5 for 6 points. Jovic 1 for 3 for 4 points. I mean, look, Auburn got 4 points from their bench. 4 points. I asked Stephen Pearl about this after they lost the last game. And he said, we scored 92 points, Mike. Like, scoring wasn't the issue. And I respectfully disagree with him. The bench put up like 5 points in that game, too.
The bench has not contributed this season.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
They have not contributed.
No matter how.
You're not playing a lot of people. See, this is the thing, too, Mike. This is the other part of this problem, because we can talk about bench scoring. The issue here is Stephen Pearl and Ike has pointed this out. You don't trust your guys on the bench to play on both sides of the court. You have guys who can score and play offense, but you don't trust them to either understand what they're supposed to do defensively or go out and execute defensively.
Apparently,
you got scorers on this roster
either, right? But because he said their issue when I asked him the question was our best players have to defend better. So it seems like defense in general is a problem.
Defense is a problem for sure.
Yeah, but Tahad finally turns it on. 11 for 18. Man, he dropped some threes from some places that I was just like, ooh, that's the Tahad I think we were waiting to see all season. 11 for 18, and on the road, 29 points on the road. They lost.
It almost seems as though you've seen it with teams back when back when it used to be OKC. It used to be Durant and Westbrook. Like sometimes it's like you're gonna shoot it, I'm gonna shoot it. You've seen them kind of have that mentality, or they just play a lot of hero ball. And it seems like because it seems as though Hod is figuring out, okay, how do I play with Hall? Right? Do I take the back seat here? Do I become the guy? Do I feel like I have to, like, I'm also being a point guard, something that I not really had to do. Like, I wonder sometimes when he knows he's expected to score and be the offense, he plays a lot more freer. Or when there's not a lot of pressure on him to have to facilitate, he just opens up. I'm trying to figure out what it is with Tahad, because as we saw last night, his ability didn't go away. Right?
Yeah,
the kid can definitely get buckets, but it seems like with the blend of talent and their skill set, Hod kind of takes the back seat and facilitates and let Hall scores the points, it seems.
Yeah. Look, man, I don't. Tahad Pettiford and Keyshawn Murphy were a combined 20 of 34. They hit 20 of Auburn's 27 makes. You didn't get help. I mean, Kevin Overton not showing 1 for 13, over 5 from 3. Dude, he could not hit the broadside of a barn I mean, it was very, very disappointing. It was a disappointing showing all the way around from Overton and everybody else. So, look, I mean, what's left on the schedule? I think I got a schedule graphic in here. It's not going to be updated, but
we can talk. Yeah.
Right. Like, so, I mean, they just went through Arkansas. So Mississippi State's up next, and they've got 6 games left. Mississippi State, Kentucky, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, LSU, Alabama. And they've got to sweep those games to get to 20 wins. I mean, and you've got to go 5 for 6, right? Like to get to 19, which is where I think Ike thinks they're safe.
So you already are saying that Hall will be back. Do we know that for sure?
Yeah, I think he'll be back. No way he sits him more than one game. No, something went wrong. If he sit from what I know right now, it was just a 1 game thing.
Okay,
it was a 1 game.
I mean, 247. I think 247 had indefinitely. Indefinitely sounds like more than one.
Yeah, as far as I know, it's a 1 game thing. So, yeah, we'll see.
I mean, when you look at it, Mike, they're going to have to go on a run. They're going to have to go on a run. Last night was another winnable game. Like when you look at Bama and Arkansas, my God, man, you could have gone 2-1 over the past week if you had taken care of business, man. Like, man, that's rough. But now, you know, you're back home against Mississippi State. Kentucky comes into town. That's going to be another challenging game. Kentucky's been playing really well lately. Oklahoma has been they have not been good overall record-wise, but they've been a scrappy team at times. So that's not going to be a gimme. You're going to have to close out. Like you have an opportunity to win, to go on a run here, Mike. You can close out 4-2, maybe even go 5-1. But Mike, all of your mistakes should be behind you at this point, right? Blown leads, guys just having bad games like that. That has to be behind you at this point.
Yeah, I agree. Look, man, you got to bounce back immediately versus Mississippi State. You got to find a way to get Kentucky. You got to get Oklahoma. They need to win the next 3 for sure. Time to go on a run. You've lost the last 3. You need to win the next 3 and get right back into this conversation. And you got to find a way to get some revenge against Bama and Tuscaloosa at the end of the year. All right,
they got questions. They have questions with their roster now that old Buddy's no longer eligible.
Yeah, they need some quad wins. I mean, we know the net rankings reward you for playing so many quad 1 games. So you're Auburn, you're 14-11, and you're sitting at 34 in the net because when you look at they played 14 quad 1 games.
Yeah, they do have to start winning.
Got to start winning some of them. Right. Like, so I just think, so right now they're getting rewarded for playing so many quad 1 games. Bama at the end of the year, that will be firmly a quad 1 opportunity. Let me see here. Let's hold on. Let me look at this real quick. Yeah, bam. All right, let's talk about this for a second. Mississippi State, where are they at in the net right now? They're at 96 in the net, so that would definitely
you can't lose that game.
Yeah, you can't lose that one. That would definitely not be a quad 1 opportunity. Kentucky. Let me see where they're at in the net right now. Kentucky. Where are you, Kentucky? Scrolling up here. Kentucky is. I just saw them. 28 in the net.
That's a tough game.
Right. Yeah. So that I think would be a quad 1 opportunity as of now. And they're 5-7 in quad 1 games. Oklahoma, let's see where they're at. I don't think they're doing too.
They're down there.
Yeah, they're 68 in the net, so that's not a quad 1 opportunity. Ole
Miss is down there.
Ole Miss is 92, so that's definitely not one. LSU,
Bama probably your next one.
LSU is 67 in the net. Yeah, so you're right. So right now, Bama and Kentucky are quad 1 opportunities for you.
You need to split those games.
I agree. And you need to beat Mississippi State, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, and LSU.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Right,
take care of the teams who aren't even in the conversation, and you need to split either Kentucky or Alabama. I would say rather Kentucky at home.
That puts you at 19 wins, Caesar. That's 19 wins.
Yeah, that takes the pressure off. You can go to Tuscaloosa, play free, knock them off, get revenge, but you already got everything in a bag. So get Kentucky. That's the way I look at it. Go
I agree.
Get Kentucky.
I agree. Yeah, man, it's crunch time here. Again, you lost that game to Arkansas, and you got nothing from everybody else. Now, you could argue that if you play Keyshawn Hall, Todd Pettiford and Keyshawn Murphy don't have the types of games that they had.
And again, that's the problem with not playing a lot of guys. Everybody has to be on, Mike.
Yeah.
Like you can't have a bad game and you're only playing 8 guys.
Yeah.
Right. So again, the pressure's on for those guys to in crunch time to really show up in some of these games, and it's even worse when you're down a guy because you suspend him. Let's get to some of your comments, guys. The Can Lay says, if you have a standard and the coach is upholding the standard, he has my support. Yes, we want to win, but it can't be at any cost. I don't know what Hall did, but it doesn't matter. Getting closer to the NIT.
Yeah.
Someone made a comment in
that new Crown tournament where you can play for NIL money.
Someone made a comment that I thought was interesting, that because this isn't technically his team per se, that his culture is really important. The type of culture he seems, if correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, based on what I'm getting, he's a lot more of a disciplinarian than Bruce is.
He's a lot stricter. Yeah.
He's a lot stricter.
Yeah.
And so to me, I think that has been a bit of a culture shift. Even though you have a lot of new guys here, I think it's been a learning curve. Like Tahad, especially. Tahad was here last year. I mean, we know what happened off season with him, but it seems like this has been an adjustment with Steven being the head coach. And I'm wondering, moving forward, what does that mean for this team? How many people return? Right? Do they want to continue to play in an environment like this? Does Steven begin to look for more guys who fit what he wants to do? It's going to be interesting to see how this team looks and how it progresses with Steven Pearl as head coach.
Yeah. Yeah, the standard is the standard. Ike and I talked about this. Like, it's not changing just because it's your first year as a head coach. Find a way to this tournament, or what we may be looking at. Yeah, I got my credentials back for the SEC tournament. Auburn may have to win it. I mean, you don't want to have to go into the SEC tournament needing to win it to make it in.
Yeah.
I think they're capable of doing that, but like, you know, I'm just saying that's a tough position to be in.
Calvin Peterson says this football team is going to be scary this year. So he's all about it. He's bought in. He believes that Alex Golesh is the guy. Year one, Auburn's going to shock some people. Sign me up for it. I'm
all about it.
Listen, I will say this around mid to late October if Auburn has at least 2 wins in the month of October. Auburn, we're talking playoff contention if Auburn is there.
Yeah, for sure.
And that would be scary for the rest of the SEC. Richard Reeves says if you're not playing a lot of guys, you can't bench your best player.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, without saying what exactly he did to earn the bench, this decision was always going to face a lot of scrutiny.
Yeah,
especially
if you lose, especially when you lose as a result of it, right?
Yeah,
you win, we're not talking about it. But if you lose a game, and man, like Arkansas is not that great.
Yeah, you already scrubbed them one time.
Goodness gracious, that could have been another dub that you would have gotten. So now it just kind of like, how, to your point, Mike, what are we talking about? This had to have been serious.
Yeah,
for you to say, hey, you can't play.
Yeah. I just don't. It makes me wonder about how he's looking at the rest of the season and their prospects for being Steven Pearl. I mean, you're in have to have it territory with a lot of these games. And so, he had to feel very strongly about this decision to do this. And I think that's a little different from saying that it was something serious. I don't think it has to be serious. He just has to feel strongly about it. I think Keyshawn Hall is done after this year, right?
Yes.
So he's got to feel really strongly about it. Do you think Bruce would have done it? Do you think Bruce would have sat Keyshawn?
How many people did Bruce sit down over the past several years who were like?
It's hard for me to think of
dudes?
times where he did that. It's very, very hard. And I'm not saying whether that's right or wrong. I'm just saying
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is different. This is different. Like, he did it with Hod. Like, well, Hod came off the bench. I don't think he sat Hod. Hod came off the bench one game, right?
Yeah. He benched him from the starting lineup.
He benched him, but he played, right?
Yeah.
Then a few weeks later, like Magwood is on a milk carton, right?
Yeah. Like, he's in the doghouse. I don't know if
he's on a milk carton. We haven't seen the kid. And then your best player, clearly your best player, he sits. He doesn't even come off the bench. He sits, Mike.
Yeah. I mean, your best scorer. I mean, let's call it what it is. Your best scorer. So I'm with Steven on this one. I'm just
Chad Baker-Mazar. Chad Baker-Mazar did sit.
Okay.
Chad Baker-Mazar did sit.
Okay.
Good call. Good call, Leslie. Appreciate that. I'm trying to clear this up.
We saw what led to that. Right? That was very public, and that was like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, it wasn't private, right?
Yeah. We saw what led to that.
So yeah, it's interesting. It's very interesting to see how this has played out. Yeah, I think Auburn has to win at least 4 games, but I say they have to split. They have to go 5-1. They have to split Kentucky and Bama. Those are your remaining quad 1 opportunities. And you can't slip up against these non-quad 1 games. You cannot. If you're serious about getting into the tournament, you have to take care of business against these other teams.
Yeah, I still think there's a slight chance they get in with 18 wins. You're
flirting with danger.
Yeah, I don't love it. Yeah, I don't love it. I mean, the net rankings have them so highly regarded that, I think at 18 that there's a shot, and a lot of people will cry foul if they get 18 wins. But I think 19, I honestly think you're safe. At 20, you're double safe. May not be a super high seed, but you're safe. Let's see here.
Yep.
No, this is
anything else, Mike? I think we're at the end, man.
It's going to be an interesting week here. So again, lock in with us. We got a lot of great content coming for you guys the next couple of weeks, and we'll see as spring practice approaches. Caesar, I'm anxious to see what kind of reports we get out of Auburn for Stephen Pearl and for Alex Golish and his guys. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Well, Mike, take it away, man. Tell the people how they can support.
You guys know the deal. Sign up as a patron. $5.99 a month will get you there. We appreciate our title sponsor, Golden's Cast Iron. Use the codes on the screen to get your discount on your Golden's Cast Iron products. Going to run through some sponsors here real quick. Want to thank our friends at AIMA. You can find them at AIMAINC.com or call them at 912-777-4128. Scan the QR code on the screen for more information. Your friendly fiduciary advisors. Also want to thank our friends at the Vibe Vault. If you're looking to get fresh for the weekend, the Vibe Vault's got you covered. And our friends at the Rogue Shop. Visit rogueshop.com. Use code reporter to get 15% off your Rogue Shop order. Subscribe to us on podcasts, all the podcasts you see there, and you can find our written work as well as our merch store at thewarreport.com.
And before you get out of here, guys, do us a favor as always, man. We will love it if you were to like this video. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already. If you enjoyed this conversation and you want other people to get in on this, please share the video, guys. We greatly appreciate it. We're not just on YouTube. You can also find us on social media. That is X and Instagram at The War Report. And on TikTok, you can find us at TW Report. That's it for now, guys. But again, we have great content throughout the week. Be on the lookout for that. And Mike's dropping some special content as promised over the next week or so. Definitely want to keep your eyes open for that. Until then, guys, enjoy the rest of the weekend. And as always, where you go?